Okay, great morning. This morning I'm going to pull from the Naked Heart Tarot, the Mausolea Oracle of Souls and Sacred Awakening. And let's just see what the topic of the morning is. So Patricia, I have your piece packed up. I'm going to take it to the post office this morning and get it on its way to you. And then I am off to look for cardboard so that I can pack up the one for Sin. And I will hopefully get that out for you today as well in the mail. I do have some boxes that are coming, but they're not coming till the 22nd, so I need to go out and forage for, I think maybe Lowe's may have cardboard. I know they did in Florida, but here I'm not sure, so I'm going to go look and see what I can find. We still have 2 art pieces available. The one behind the jewels in the wind. Now, when you see back there, you don't really get the feeling. I mean, it's got a lot more going on than it gets kind of diluted back there on the screen. So, if you like soft colors, it's a nice feminine piece for sure. And then the other one is just such bright colors and has a lot of motion in it as well. And actually, those two actually go quite well together if you have space for a couple of pieces. They have a nice flow together. Okay, so what we have this morning is resistance. We have the Naked Heart, resistance, and Mother of Dawn, the emissary, beauty, agency, compassion. Okay. All right, so what is this telling us? Well, you know, if you're going to make progress, you have to connect with the heart. The heart is the seat of being. It's your temple. It's where you can commune with God, and every second of every day you always have this sacred temple within you. Not the physical heart, but the spiritual heart. Okay, it's still located about the same area. If you point to yourself, it's always this way, and that's where the spiritual heart is. So people ask, how do I find the spiritual heart? Point to yourself, and that's where it is. Okay. So you have the heart. You connect with the heart. Now, if you're going to be the mother and emissary of beauty and agency, you have to have compassion. And during this time, a lot of people are losing compassion. They have a great resistance to it. A resistance to compassion. I mean, because we see these hate groups coming up, and you know, we have a president, quote unquote, that wants to be a dictator, and so people have built up a resistance. We have a hate group, the militia, that wanted to kidnap 2 of the governors. again, Trump is still putting out their huge conspiracy theories of hate, and QAnon, supporting QAnon, and retweeting stuff and say, well, it's up to people to figure it out. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Okay, well, why are you retweeting it if you're not giving it impetus? So, he does these things, he knows he's doing these things, and then he wants to act like he's so innocent, And people are fed up. People are dying every day because of this man's ignorance. Okay, so people have been losing compassion. Okay. And we have to understand that this is a man that's ill, seriously, mentally ill. You can see that he's in breakdown mode, in terror of losing, because if he loses, he knows everyone will know he's a failure. They're taking him to court. He's going to lose everything, and he'll wind up in jail. So he is absolutely what he feels fighting for his life. Okay, and then we have these the neo-Nazis, and again, they're all driven by fear, feeling they're going to lose something. They're in a general pity party that if they were so secure in who and what they were, they wouldn't care who else comes up, okay? But they're driven by fear, okay? They're driven by delusion. So don't lose your compassion. Don't become so resistant that you lose the compassion. When you lose compassion, you also lose beauty. You become a bitter person. Sour, bitter. So don't lose that. Don't lose that ability to feel. Don't harden your heart. Okay? Don't harden your heart. We have to have compassion and beauty and be an agency of these if we are going to make change. Yes, we can be resistant to these ideologies. It doesn't mean we're accepting of them. We're not accepting of neo-Nazism. We're not accepting of white pride, which is really white failure. Okay? We are not assenting to any of those. Okay? We have compassion. We have to have compassion and want to see these laws change. We want to see police departments to be retrained. We want to see equality for everyone. We want to see these, so many of these deaths at police hands that are not, that are just written off. Like, oh, well, it's part of my job. I have carte blanche. They shouldn't have carte blanche. So we can be resistant and stand for the higher things, but you don't need to make your heart hardened. Okay, keep a soft heart. Keep compassion, and understand that these people are not happy, that are perpetrating these crimes, perpetrating these mindsets. They're not happy people, okay? So again, try to keep your compassion, keep a soft heart, understand where they're coming from, and let's try to educate people, make things better for people across the board. We need to educate people, and pull them out of their false belief systems. It's almost, you wonder how can people go down these rabbit holes to believe things like QAnon, that Democrats and some of the stars are Satanists worshiping pedophiles that kill children and drink their blood. I'm just, really, you gotta pity somebody that thinks that, because they are living in a delusionary mindset of angst. Okay? They are living in a mindset of angst. This is not to say horrible things don't happen. Yes, there is. We've got to stop these things, pedophilia. We've got to stop this sex trafficking. So many people are kidnapped, forced into sex trafficking. All of these things we need to change in society, and we need to educate people. Men need to get a softer heart. They think sex is just sex. Oh, well. Okay? There needs to be some serious soul searching by people. How can you... And they convince themselves they're doing no harm. Okay? How can you continue to abuse people for your own lust? Okay? And women that go into pornography and wind up, there are so many things that need to be changed in society, that need to be lifted higher, okay, that fuel all this undertone. We've gone so far off the path that it's going to really take a lot of education, beauty, agency, compassion to move forward. We can do it, but we need to start somewhere. Okay, yes, we need to be resistant to these ideas that if it feels good to you, screw everybody else and go ahead and do it. That's really Satan's view. That's what Satan says, bow down, worship me. You can have everything you want in the earth. No problem. Just worship ego. Bow down, worship ego. And you can have whatever you want. Okay? But what did Christ teach? Whatever you do to the least of these, you do to me. Whatever you do, to the least, you're doing to yourself. You're doing, you're harming yourself as well in the end. So again, we need to have a radical change, and it's going to come step by step. We have to begin somewhere. Okay, but one of the things to remember is without compassion, without understanding, we're going to go nowhere. Again, don't let your heart become hardened like stone, then nothing penetrates. Understand that people act out of fear. If they were settled and knew who they were and complete within themselves, they would never do anything to harm another. Never. Okay? So find out who and what you are and what you are not. Get rid of the failed ideas that drive one. Come to a place of acceptance of who and what you are. Okay? Let the past be the past. and live for the day. The best day that you can live today, live it. Okay? And don't lose your compassion. Because without that, without compassion, without understanding, we can't go forward as a people. So thank you so much for tuning in. I will leave this here for now, and I will see you online. Much love and light to everyone.